This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today's programme is a Monkey Life special in Vietnam, where Monkey World's rescue centre for golden-cheeked gibbons and langurs is up and running. We meet the centre's newest gibbon, Ellie. She needs a health check to make sure she's fit to return to the wild. And it's an exciting and tense time as the team attempt to rescue their first Duplanger monkeys.
We're just heading in now to see if we can either do this peacefully or perhaps not so peacefully. See what happens.
In the past 21 years, Monkey World has rescued and rehabilitated over 250 apes and monkeys from all corners of the globe. But their latest project means that many rescued primates can remain in their native country. 6,000 miles away, in Vietnam, Monkey World has built its first international sanctuary, and it's finally up and running.
After 9 years in the planning and an awful lot of hard work, welcome to Dietary. It's spectacular, and I just couldn't be any prouder.
Dietary Rescue Centre has been built on an island in Vietnam's largest and most diverse conservation zone, Cat Tien National Park. The centre's aim is to rescue golden-cheeked gibbons and langurs, rehabilitate them, and, where possible, release them back into the wild. These rare and beautiful primates are the target of illegal poaching and smuggling trades. Without this rescue centre, Vietnam's endangered species could face extinction. Monkey World keepers Marina and Wendy are running this new centre. And they have a mighty task in front of them.
At the moment, this is my passion, and I'm actually not missing anything else, because I know everyone else in England is being cared for. But here and now, these need your help, and I think I can help them.
It is a huge and sometimes quite daunting task, what we're doing here on the island. Yeah, you sit back at the end of the evening and go, really? Are we going to do it? But yes, we are. We've got to do it for the gibbons.
Later, Wendy takes hair samples for DNA analysis from the centre's newest gibbon, Ellie. The team must be certain that she can go back into the wild.
Very important. We need to make sure that we know she's the right sort of gibbon to be going out in this area of forest.
Today, Alison and Marina are hopefully going to rescue their first Duplanger monkeys. But all the centre's primates need to be looked after very differently to those at Monkey World.
We consider Monkey World more for the rehabilitation and care and retirement, if you will, of the individuals on site. Here on Dao Tien, it isn't about the individuals so much as it is getting rescued primates back out into the wild and ensuring that they're protected and safe in the wild setting and that illegal trade doesn't continue. And that's something that we haven't done before, so that's a little bit of scary new territory for us, but well worth it.
It's a nervous time for the team as they head out on their rescue mission. Marina, Alison and Cat Tien director Mr. Tan are en route to Ho Chi Minh City.
We're heading off to an amusement park called Soi Tien. We've had a report that there are 2 Duplangers kept in the back in small cages, so this is a bit of a tip-off, and Mr. Tan has organized the Forestry Protection Department, the FPD, to meet us there and try and go inside and confiscate the Duplangers. So we don't know if we'll be successful. We don't know if the people at Soi Tien are going to freak out at us, but you know, we definitely want to get hold of those Duplangers if we can, because they're very sort of vulnerable in their current state.
In the wild, black-shanked Duplangers are only found in Cambodia and Vietnam and are an endangered species. They have a specialist diet of unripe fruit and young leaves. But in captivity, they're often fed the wrong food, and in stressful situations, they can go into shock. Most don't survive.
We do know that they've had dukes before and they died, so it's really important we do go with the Forestry Protection Department, the police, and a special wildlife crime unit are also coming. So if we do manage to get them, they know that it's not a good idea to replace them.
Soi Tien theme park is unaware that the team are gathering outside their entrance. And as soon as the Forestry Protection Department arrive, they spring into action.
We're just heading in now to see if we can either do this peacefully or perhaps not so peacefully. We'll see what happens.
Soi Tien is a massive theme park and the owner is extremely rich and powerful. This is a sensitive situation that needs to be handled diplomatically. The team are quickly ushered into the management offices and no one knows what's going to happen next. The director of the park joins the team, and it's clear from the start that he's not happy.
Mr. Tan explained why we're here and how important it is that the dukes are very rare and endangered and need to go back into the forest because there's not many left, and that it's illegal to keep them. But the director of the park said that before he bought them, he got permits from some government department. We're not sure which one. We're not sure whether it's legal or not, but he's very, very confident that he's well in his rights to keep dukes here.
If the park does indeed have the correct papers for the Duplangers, Alison and the team may have to walk away and leave the monkeys where they are. Back at Cat Tien National Park, the wild gibbons are singing their morning chorus. And the rescue centre's gibbons call back. This is natural behaviour that gibbons use to announce their territory to other gibbon pairs. For Wendy, these early morning calls mean just one thing: breakfast. But unlike Monkey World, where the primate care staff have a close bond with their animals, here, if the gibbons are to stand any chance of surviving in the wild, Wendy must not get close to them.
So one of the most important things we do for these gibbons here, to prepare them coming out, is to not associate us with food. Of course, we have to feed them. It's my job to put food in their food bowls for them. But if we do it quickly, quietly, without actually acknowledging them, all in, it's not a big fuss. They're not looking at me, I'm not looking at them. They're ignoring me. I'm nothing. Keep away from me. I'm boring, I'm dull, I'm uninteresting. Anybody will tell you that.
Before being rescued, these gibbons were either pets or were being used in the tourist industry, so they were dependent on humans. At Dao Tien, this behaviour has to be reversed.
These gibbons have got to survive in the wild. These animals have to deal with forests which aren't empty. They have to deal with people going into the forests. The most important thing that these animals need to do is stay away from people. And if they're used to us and they associate us with food, that's not going to happen. It has to be done. It's not a matter of wanting to, liking it or not. You have to keep separate from these animals. It's my opportunity to help these animals survive in the wild, and that's what we do. That's our goal here on Dao Tien. We don't want them in cages, we want them in a forest. And if I can help them do that, that's a pretty good deal, I reckon.
Back at Soi Tien Theme Park, the team are still in a heated debate. They've reached deadlock. The park doesn't want to hand over the Duplangers, and it looks like the team may have to leave empty-handed, when Alison decides to try a different approach.
So I apologize if we have caught him off guard, but I would like to invite him to join us in conserving the primates and have a very good professional face for Soi Tien. This is not to make a bad story, this is to make a very positive story.
Mr. Tan just gave a very, very powerful, persuasive speech explaining how important it is, and the director has just turned around and actually said, we actually would like to support and maybe collaborate and work together for the conservation of these rare species. And his face is a little bit happier now.
Luckily, Alison's tactics work. The director has agreed to hand the monkeys over. It's a massive achievement, and even better, he wants to work with Dietary in the future.
We are allowed to go back, collect the langurs, package them up, get them back to Dietary, and then we can start assessing them and looking at them.
To everyone's surprise, the Duplanger's are already waiting outside the office. And it looks like they're becoming agitated.
They're very scared, and quite frankly, it makes me nervous because Duplangers are very sensitive monkeys, so really we just need to get this chaos done and over with quickly.
But suddenly, disaster strikes. One of the monkeys escapes.
Marina, he's up in the car.
It runs straight underneath the car.
Aaron, where's the net? Okay, I can grab the tail.
But Alison and team member Aiju are able to get hold of it.
I can release his hands, maybe? It's okay, little man. There he goes. This cage.
And put it safely into one of Dietary's secure cages.
Aiju got hold of his tail, and I managed to climb underneath and get his hands done. But the gap he fit through in the cage was this big. Very tiny, but at least we've got them secure now. Never a dull moment.
With both monkeys safe and secure, Alison and Marina can get a good look at them.
I think this one's a little boy, and I think that one over there might be an older lady. So we might have a pair already, but we'll wait and see.
She's got a few sores on her fingers and missing lots of fingers, but she's actually been quite steady. But in time will tell, they go into shock and they just give up. So, yeah, let's get her home quickly.
In Vietnam, the Monkey World team have arrived at Dau Tien Island with the centre's first Duplangers. These monkeys are very delicate. They require a specialist diet and they can easily go into shock, so everyone wants to move quickly to get them settled into their new home.
Ready? Yep. I think she will move quick. Very good. Well done, guys.
With the Dukes safely in their enclosure, the team can see their true condition. And it's not good news.
The female, now that we've got her out of her box, her legs are really quite weedy and like toothpicks, and she's actually very unsteady on them. She's also got breaks in her tail. Little boy looks quite precocious and very happy and content. I'm far more concerned about the female. I think she's had a rougher go of it than him, so we'll have to keep an eye on her and try and get her fed up, but hopefully just moving around and using those legs will make her come right.
After being separated for the journey, the pair are happy to be back together, and the female grooms the young male. This is to reinforce their bond, but their closeness could also mean that they're related.
I can't imagine two strangers would ever be so lovely together as that. He's so relaxed with her, and as soon as he saw her, he gave her a small hug, and then said, groom this, groom that. So he's used to being with someone else, and that individual's most likely been his mum, so we can do quick DNA from hair samples and just confirm whether she is mum.
It's great to see the Dukes settling in so well, but the biggest test is yet to come. Are they eating properly? And later, when the team do test the Duke's diet, there's cause for concern.
She must start eating leaves, otherwise her stomach and her guts are gonna go terribly wrong and we could lose her.
At the other side of the centre, Wendy and vet Aaron are preparing to do a health check on the newest gibbon, Ellie.
Ellie's full of beans. She's on the go all the time. She's an inquisitive, very happy little gibbon. You can't really ask for very much more at this stage.
Ellie was rescued from the pet trade, and just like every new arrival at the centre, she's subjected to a full health check to make sure she isn't carrying any harmful diseases that could be passed on to Cat Tien's wild gibbon population. Ellie needs to be sedated for the checkup, and the least stressful way to do this is a hand injection. Ellie was a pet for 6 years, so she's used to human company. And even though vet Aaron has never met her before, his patience pays off. And the injection goes without a hitch. The anaesthetic begins to work immediately. With Ellie out for the count, Aaron can begin his health check. And Wendy collects crucial hair samples.
I'm just taking a few hair samples so we can get the correct DNA on her to find out her true subspecies. Very important. We need to make sure that we know that she's the right sort of gibbon to be going out in this area of forest. All right?
Wendy also measures Ellie's neck.
Yeah. So I'll just take a quick neck measurement before you do.
Each gibbon that's released back into the wild is going to be fitted with a GPS collar that will track their movements.
It's important for us to know what they're doing once we release them. We need to be able to make sure we know where they're going, where they are, where they've been. Are they still moving? And eventually that collar will actually then drop off. But we've got very, very valid information, vital data.
Ellie's examination is almost complete, and physically she looks in good condition.
She's fine.
Yes. From Aaron's examination and what he showed me today, there's no reason why that little girl shouldn't start to become a normal gibbon. There's nothing at the moment, as far as we can make out, until we get the blood results back, to prevent her going off. But that's the all-important thing, is those blood results have to come back to us clear. And then she's got the all go.
Ellie's given a reversal to bring her around from the sedation, and she's up as quickly as she went down.
Ellie, open your eyes before you start to climb. Really helps.
If Ellie gets the all clear, she can go on to find a mate and eventually return to the wild.
Hello.
Back with the Duplanger's, Alison is concerned that the female's diet has affected her health, so she's observing what kinds of food the Duplanger chooses. They're given a mixture of leaves that they should be eating and fruits that they shouldn't, to see which they prefer.
It's very clear that her diet hasn't been correct, because all of the leafy things that she should be interested in eating chucked out onto the straight out onto the ground and straight in for the fruits. So we're going to have to work on this one, because we cannot continue to let her eat just fruit. She must start eating leaves, otherwise her stomach and her guts are going to go terribly wrong and we could lose her.
If these monkeys are to stand any chance of survival back in the wild, they must eat the correct diet. So Marina and her keepers head deep into the jungle to collect the right range of foods to see if there's anything the monkeys recognise or want.
Luckily, in our team on Dietary, we've got Kalwai, and his knowledge of the forest is superb. Until about 10 years ago, he spent most of his life and childhood in the forest, and he knows all the trees. He's been telling me every day for the last 6 months that the monkeys eat this, the langurs eat this, the gibbons eat this. And also we have Mr. Tang, who also is a very, very good forest man. And they're both very good at climbing trees, which is cool.
Marina has extensive knowledge of gibbons as she studied Cat Tien's wild population for 4 years. During this time, she also had encounters with wild Duplangers and observed their eating habits.
Because the thing is, the dupes don't only just eat leaves. They eat flower, they'd eat some figs, but they'd also eat all the mosses off the tree trunks. So for us to get healthy dukes, we really do need to spend most of our time in the forest collecting all sorts of things. And from what we've seen already, they're very picky. They eat a couple of leaves and that's enough of that species. They would like another species. So we need to be offering 5, 10 species per day, really, to keep them eating enough wild leaf that will sustain them and keep them healthy.
Everything that Marina and her team do is to help teach the primates what they'll need to survive in the wild. And back with the Dukes, Kalwai has arrived with his freshly picked leaves. And he's hit the jackpot.
It's just amazing. Can you even believe it? She just saw the leaves coming and came, get out of the way, let me have them. And she knew instantly, so it just goes to show a couple of things. You give them the right tools, they know what to do with it, and I don't think that these guys have been out of the forest for that long. Not only have we got some food now that they're keen to eat and that I'm happy is the right food for them to be eating, but also the companionship. So we're ticking all of the boxes rapid now. They're together, they're grooming, they're happy, and now they're squabbling over the food, but in a very nice, lovely sort of way. So they're encouraging each other. It's a big step, a really big step. Keeping Duplangers is not easy, and we've just hopefully turned the corner. And I think we're just going to move forward now. It's really good news.
Dao Tien Rescue Centre is proving to be a huge success. But this is just the beginning of the journey for these rare and beautiful primates. Soon, they'll be back where they belong, in the wild.
And that's the ultimate goal, is to take rescued individuals, turn the whole story around, turn it back into a positive thing, and help repopulate the wild to prevent the extinction.
Even though it's very scary, there's so many different things to consider. It's really exciting.
Next time, back at Monkey World in Dorset, geriatric stump-tailed macaque Coco is getting too old to groom herself, so the primate care staff help out.
We just give her coat a quick brush just to get any mucky bits out.
Chimp Jester gets more than his fair share of the bachelor boy's walnuts. And have the team been able to stop the skin infection outbreak in Hananya's chimp house?
Anything that's spreading throughout the group is always cause for major concern for us.